Hi, everyone. It's Kariana, your favorite witchy coach. If you would like to book with me so I can help you on your manifestation journey, all of the information will be down in the description box below. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe this video so I can reach as many people as I can. Okay, guys. So today I want to talk about impatience and manifesting because it seems to be a topic that gets brought up a lot in session. And I was actually asked to do this video. So I'm going to get into it. I have a lot of thoughts on it. I actually scribbled down some notes like today when I was like getting ready to film this, like working myself up to film. I started thinking about this and I never do that. I never like scribble down anything or whatever, like really concentrate on, a topic. But for some reason I was like really called to do this today. And I have a lot of things I want to share with you guys that helped me when in years and years and years ago on my manifestation journeys. And just things that I really think that are going to help you guys that have helped my clients in session as well. Reminders, Okay, guys. So I hope everybody's doing good on this spring day. I got rained on today, but I absolutely love the rain. So not a big deal for me, but my hair is looking a little crazy. Anyways, okay. So let's get started on this topic. All right. So, being impatient while manifesting, like I said, popular subject. We've all been guilty of it or victim of it or whatever you want to call it. We're, nobody's a victim, but just for lack of a better term, we've all experienced that in one way, shape, or form. I've seen it in friends, I've seen it in clients, and I've seen it in myself. Okay. So if you're watching this right now, new or not new, you know LOA, you don't know LOA, and you're learning, right? You're not alone. This is a very, very, very popular subject. Okay. I don't think that a lot of people talk about it in the community, but then again, I don't know because I don't watch anybody else's videos because there's no competition in my reality. But I know that my clients bring it up a lot, and I know that I have felt it myself, and I've seen it in my friends. So I'm going to talk about it, and I'm going to give you guys my take on it. Okay. So first and foremost, I want to remind you guys, 3D is not real. It's just not. It's dead old fake. Okay. Like I always say, 3 seconds ago, 5 minutes ago, last week, it was the past. The 3D just does not matter. The only thing that matters and the only thing that's truth right now is this present moment and what I'm entertaining in here, in my mind. That is the only thing that matters. Okay. First and foremost, I don't want you to give into the urge. Okay. Because we all have this urge to check our 3D for the validation. We want our 3D to validate us that we have what we want, or it's on its way, or I have, signs and all of these things. We are always checking. Well, not always. We shouldn't always be. But we have these urges that come to us to check the 3D. Why? Well, there's a few different reasons, but number one is because people tend to forget that the 3D is just not real. It doesn't matter, right? The reason why it's not real, and I've said this before, I'm going to say it again, is because it happened in our mind already, right? We already created that. By the time that we're experiencing the 3D, people, places, and things, it's already happened here, right? And the 3D is literally always reflecting what our beliefs are. And I'm going to get into that in a minute, but just, we've learned our whole lives until we got woke to this, right? We've learned our whole lives to look out, into our 3D. It's real. It's going to give us the validation that we need, that we're smart, okay, that we're pretty, that we can make all that money and that high power job. Anything. We've been taught to look and seek validation out in our 3D. Okay. But we're doing it wrong. We're doing it wrong. Okay. Because we all know, like I said, if you're a newbie and you're getting to know LOA, or if you've been doing this for years, right? We all know that we do it the opposite way, right? What do I always say? In LOA, we don't put the cart before the horse. Everybody always says, or we put the cart before the horse. Sorry. Everybody always says, don't put your cart before the horse. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, right? Or you're going to be lucky if you get that thing. Oh, you're so lucky. I can't believe, you prayed for that, or you hoped and wished for that and it came true. You're so lucky. lucky girl syndrome. That doesn't exist in LOA, right? What we're doing is we are putting the cart before the horse, meaning we are dreaming up something, we're desiring it, we're living in the wish fulfilled in our mind. And then we go back to that enough and our 3D reflects that. Okay. So the 3D is literally just reflecting our deepest internal beliefs, right? That's all it's doing. It's literally just always reflecting that. People, places, and things are just the messenger, as I always call them the messenger. It's always just a reflection of what is going on in here. Our core beliefs, our internal beliefs in here, what we're bringing ourselves back to constantly is what's being reflected out into the 3D. So that's why it really doesn't matter, and everything is changeable and malleable, as long as I keep going back to what's going on in here and I entertain this, the movie that I'm playing, the actors that I'm hiring and firing. I do everything in my mind and I'm living from that, and I'm not looking for validation out here, because the thing is that who are we asking for this? If we're God, right? If God is within us and we are the driving force behind this, then who are we asking for these things? We're not asking for anything. We're selecting our next reality that we want to experience, right? So just keep that in mind. Also too, guys, the more that we wait, okay, it's very easy to get caught up in this conundrum, this cycle of people will come to me all the time in this, like, state of being, sad, or down and out, sad, crying, anxious, and or like, impatient, obviously, because that's what we're talking about, impatient state. And they're always saying, well, Kariana, like, you're telling me not to wait for this, but I am, what else am I supposed to be doing? I am waiting. I'm waiting because I've affirmed, but the thing is that the more that we wait, the more that we're signaling to our subconscious that we don't have it. And I've said this before, guys, and I'll say it again. I just said it in a short. Our brain is designed to validate us. Our brain is always co-signing for us. I always call it, it's like the bad friend at brunch, right? The one that's always like, yeah, girl, let's order another bottle of champagne. It's never probably a good idea. Well, most of the time it's not a good idea. I always say it's never a good idea. But your friend is going to co-sign and say, yeah, we need another bottle of champagne, right? That's your subconscious. Your subconscious is always going to be that friend at brunch that just loves everything about you and is always going to co-sign everything bad idea that you want to do, you want to create, right? Or that you're trying to decide on. And it also does it the opposite way too, right? Every good desire that we have, every good idea, every good storyline that we're telling our subconscious, it's going to co-sign that as well. So the thing is, I wanted to use like those analogies is because I think it's funny, right? Is that's the problem. You get in that conundrum, or that, I don't know, for lack of better terms, I guess you could call it, that cycle of waiting. And then your subconscious is co-signing that because it's designed to validate you and always show you evidence of what you keep going back to. So guess what? It says, okay, well, Kariana, I have to show you more waiting. There you go. Done. Check. And now I'm sitting out here because I'm too concentrated on the 3D because I'm impatient, and I am seeing nothing, which that's not even real. We're all energy. And I've said this before, there's movement always happening. Thought transmission is instant. These things are always happening and moving and shaking around us, right? But I'm looking out here and I'm not seeing anything. I'm hearing crickets. And I'm going, see, I don't have it. See, I don't have it. See, I don't have it. Oh my gosh, I can't. When is it going to come? How is it going to come? I can't believe it. Everybody else got I'm checking all the videos. Everybody else got their manifestation but me. So our brain has to validate that. It has to co-sign it, and it has to show you evidence, because you're saying to your brain, to your subconscious, that you want more of that. That's it. That's all it's doing. It is your best friend. It is your best friend. And I'm going to tell you that the more that you're waiting, then to me, that's a smoke signal. That's an SOS signal. If a client comes to me in session, or if I start doing it myself in my own world, that is a signal to me you're not living in the wish fulfilled, because you can't do both at the same time. You can't sit there and wait. I'm affirming, and then I'm going to check. and then I'm going to wait, and then I'm going to check again, and then I'm going to affirm, and then I'm going to do another method, and then I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to switch it up next week, and I'm always checking here. Okay, I don't have it yet. You can't do that and be in wish fulfilled. You just can't. It's impossible. And that is a signal to me that we really, or I, need to work on A, B, and C. Because if I was in the wish fulfilled, okay, if I was already in my desired reality, I wouldn't be waiting. I wouldn't be dwelling. I wouldn't be, I wouldn't be dwelling in the 3D is what I mean. I wouldn't be sitting there saying I don't have it or checking for it, because I would already be living in that reality. I would already be the girl that's driving my dream car. I would already be the girl that has the house with the wraparound porch and the swing in front of it that I've been wanting forever on so-and-so street. I'm already the girl that's sitting there with SP, eating popcorn, watching a movie, eating a snack, laughing with my SP, cuddling on the couch. I'm already that girl. I am that girl, right? I'm living that. I'm living my desired reality. So I'm in wish fulfilled. There's no reason to wait. There's no reason to check. And you can go back to that whenever you want, because everybody goes, well, how do I do that? Well, live inside the mind. And yeah, some people call it delusional. I've made a video on that, right? Or I've talked about that. Being delusional, whatever you want to call it, okay, well, that's just living inside the mind, because that's the only place that matters. I mean, really, honestly, guys, that is absolute paradise. When we live in our minds from what we want to experience. I am the person that wants to go on that Hawaii vacation. How do I do that? Well, I'm going to go inside my mind as many times as I can, and I am going to live from the person that already has that vacation booked and it's on its way, or I'm on my way there. I'm going to go back to, I'm the person that already bought that house. It's mine. I'm going to go back to, I'm already the woman that's in that desired relationship. I'm going to go back there. Okay. And, affirmations strengthen that and stuff. And I was going to talk about that later about I don't like the word technique if anybody knows me, but let's just call it methods, right? I'm going to explain to you why I always say that. Okay. Because there's a rhyme and a reason. And I'm going to say it for the newbies because, or the people that are coming back around to my videos, because it's a very important point, and you're going to get why I say that. Okay. I've already said we're not asking, we're selecting. So let me go into the reason. Yeah, I think that this is the right time for me to talk about why I don't like I don't believe in techniques and methods and stuff like they're not necessary. Okay. I'm not trying to say that they don't work. They absolutely do. And I've shared on this channel the ones that I really, really, really feel strongly about, that I've seen work fabulously in my own life. I've seen it work in my client's life, and things that I don't use that I've seen work. The reason why, okay, that I say this all the time, the reason why I don't like to give, because, I always say I love to give homework. I always say that on this channel. If anybody's been in session with me, I am a homework queen. Okay. I love giving homework. But the reason why when I first start working with somebody, I don't like to give them a bunch of methods, techniques, whatever you want to call it, right? Is because I want you to step into your power. I want you to realize your power. And I want you to realize that you're the driving force behind anything that I give you, anything and everything. It always starts and ends with you. So if I was to give you 5 techniques in one session, which that would never happen, but if I did that, right? That's great, right? You could take those 5 techniques and you could say, okay, Kariana, I'm going to apply them. You apply them for 3 days. Okay. And then you say, you check, you're waiting, you're looking for the validation. You don't see anything. Okay. Nothing's happening, which that's never true. So I'm going to switch it up. I need to watch a video. I need to change my technique. I need to change around my affirmations. Well, clearly you have a core belief, okay, that nothing works for you, or this doesn't work for you. And that has nothing to do with the method or the technique that you were given. That has to do with your belief within your power, with who you are as a creator. So if you have one method / technique, whatever you want to call it, versus 5, it doesn't matter if the story behind that is that you don't manifest fast, or you can't manifest at all, or this works for somebody else, or I just watched a video and that person got their stuff in a week and I've been waiting for 3 months. If your story behind that is negative, then it doesn't matter what you're given or how much you're given. It's going to make you feel powerless, and it's going to make you impatient, and it's going to make you have that urge or give into that urge to look out into the 3D for the validation. And then it's going to keep you in the conundrum of waiting. And when you're waiting, you can't be in the wish fulfilled. And when you're waiting and you're not in the wish fulfilled, you're living from a state of, I must be asking for this. I'm asking for this. I have to ask this permission. When is it going to be mine? When am I, who's going to tell me if I have this or not? Who's going to tell me if I can actually manifest this or not? Well, guess what? I have the answer for you. Nobody's going to tell you, right? You've already gotten you're the creator. That's why you're not asking for anything. You're selecting. Creation is finished, and everything that you want is already yours. Once you desire it, once you create it in your mind, it's yours. You wouldn't create it in your mind, think of it. It wouldn't even cross your mind if it couldn't be yours. So there's no one you're asking this permission from to have this. You're just selecting it. You're selecting it, and then you're handing the baton off to your higher self, your God self, universe, higher consciousness, whatever you want to call it. And that is how and when it pushes out, when you keep going back and saying, my job is creation. My job is to live as if. My job is to live in wish fulfilled. My job is to take my attention off this dead old 3D, not wait, not be impatient, and live and dwell in here from my deepest internal beliefs that my wish is already fulfilled, that I already have what I want, and I'm not asking, I'm selecting. And trusting in your higher consciousness to push that out when and where. That's it. That's it, guys. Okay. Let's see. What else do I want to talk about? Oh, this is a big one. This is a big one. Remember also too, that I kind of touched on that, I guess, when I was just talking about it, but let me go further into, because I always say, right, that the feeling and the becoming is really important. Okay. Obviously, wish fulfilled, I am state, stepping into your power, knowing your power, knowing that you're the power behind all of these things, any technique / method, whatever you want to call it, right? That you choose to pick up, that you get from me in session. Okay. Because I love to devise a plan. I'm a solutions type of person. I always have been, I always will be. That's why I get results. I'm a solutions type of person, and I map out everything. And I always say, if you've ever been in session with me, there's a method to my madness. There is. I listen intently to you. I catch your blocks and resistance like that. And then I devise a plan. I already have a plan devised before you're even done telling me your story. Okay. And then what I want you to do is I want to propel you into your power. Okay. I want to push you into that. Okay. Because that is the magic. That's where the magic happens. Because if you could take all of my education, all of my teachings, you can be in session with me, listening to me for an hour and take it all. And then if you are not the person that's saying, yeah, I manifest instantly, right? I know my power. I walk through this day in my highest, best self. Why? Because I'm perfect. I'm whole. I'm complete. I am God. I'm that girl. I'm that guy. They, them. I'm it. I'm the person that manifests instantly no matter what. Even if I have one damn affirmation, it's going to make me manifest all my desires. Even if I have the telephone technique and 5 affirmations and whatever else Kariana gave me, I'm going to manifest with that. I know that this is mine already because I'm not asking, I'm selecting. Well, guess what? That is going to make you manifest, period. That I need you to know that. I need you to know that you're the driving force. You're driving the bus. You're the driving force behind all of this, all of it. You are the orchestrator. Okay. So I want to go into the becoming part. Okay. The feeling and the becoming, stepping into the I am the wish fulfilled. Really, really, how do you do that? Okay. Okay, guys, I'm going to give you an example because there's a lot of examples that I could take and give you an example of, but I want to take this one because this is important. We should all be affirming this and wanting this. I don't care if you're a female, a male, if you don't identify, if you've gone through a hard life, if you've gone through an easy life, if everything in your world is like shaping and perfect, or everything is crumbling and falling apart. Okay. If your world is perfect already, like you're in your desired reality, well, congratulations. Great. To keep that, this is what you're going to do. If your world is crumbling, to push this out, your desires out, this is what you're going to do. Okay. What I'm about to explain. It is something that everybody should be affirming. Everybody should be thinking as if this, everybody should be wanting this and desiring this. Okay. So I'm going to use the example of self-love, right? If you are desiring, and like I said, everybody should be, in my personal opinion, should be desiring this. And quite frankly, from everybody, not just from an SP, because everybody comes to me and wants to talk about an SP a time or two. And I get it. It's a very popular subject. And I love SP work. I get excited about that. Okay. Because you guys know some of my story, and I've seen a lot of people push out a lot of great, great things. But even if you're manifesting an SP to come in and love and support you and respect you and value you and prioritize you. People will come to me all the time and say, well, Kariana, how do I get this person to ... How do I get this person to change? Well, first you must become that. If you're sitting there and you're not respecting yourself and you're not prioritizing yourself and you don't value yourself and you don't know your power, well, then how do you expect anybody else to do that, right? SP can't reflect that. The person at the grocery store that's checking you out can't reflect that. Your best friend can't reflect that. Your parents can't reflect that. I mean, really, honestly, everybody, right? But it's also our assumptions. And I already got into that before about everyone as you pushed out, right? We have already talked about that. Thought transmission, everyone as you pushed out. We've talked about all of that. But it really is hard, if not impossible, for you to gain the respect and gain the support and being a priority and being valued if you're never putting yourself first. If you don't truly love and show up for yourself, you don't support yourself, you don't have positive self-talk going on, right? It's not going to be reflected, especially from SP, probably because you might have a story about them. And maybe, a lot of people in your life, depending on what your assumptions are about them. And overall, if you think that you're viewed as a person that gets ran over and stepped on, or you're viewed as a person that's overlooked, well, then that's what's going to reflect in your reality. And how you change that is start putting yourself first. I mean, it's really as simple as, saying no when you want to say no, instead of saying yes. Girls want to go out tonight. They want to have a girls' night out. You're tired. You want to stay home and have a glass of wine and a mask and watch some trash TV. Say no and put yourself first. That is the first step. I'll catch you guys next week. I want to stay home. I want to do a mask. I want to do my self-care. That is simple. It's putting yourself first, showing up for yourself, prioritizing yourself. Pour love into yourself, pour support into yourself. Put yourself first. Say no when you want to, instead of saying yes, and watch your world flip and change around you. And quite honestly, like I said, let's make this more about everybody in your world instead of just one person or one thing, the SP. Okay. That's an example of how you become what you want to push out and create. you know, because it's really hard for us to say, you know, I'm the person that's driving the dream car and has the dream job, but we're always in the negative self-talk where I'm never chosen. I don't manifest instantly. Everybody gets their desires but me. That's going to ultimately push out. And that will create that impatience and that waiting, because you're really honestly focused on everything else, but what really matters, it's you. You need to focus more on you. So I want you guys to take that and maybe rewatch this video, let it resonate and sink in. I made a lot of good points today, and I really feel like, you know, most people are always, you know, they're always looking for answers on how not to be impatient or how not to be sitting around waiting. And the points that I made today in this video will really, really help you on your journey. Okay. And I don't have to know all of you guys. I don't even, I mean, I know some of you guys, I've met some of you guys, but I don't even have to meet all of you guys to know that you guys are powerful and that I'm already proud of you guys. I mean, that's just it. I believe in each and every one of you guys. I'm your biggest cheerleader. So you can do this. Take this, let it resonate with you, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Okay. Love you guys.